I knew it was different back then, There's this side of me that is like longing to just explode.
I'm Chaos Hot Wheels Hong. I'm 24 this year and I'm a musician.
I'm Kate. I'm a philosophy student who enjoys boxing in my free time.
I'm Han. I study architecture and I recently graduated.
I'm Apiao Pew. I'm a singer-songwriter and I like to spread joy.
I'm Vladimir Joachim, your national flower and Simple's drag queen.
I didn't pursue my studies, and while my expulsion wasn't transphobic explicitly, the principal told me and my mom that I was a boy in a girls' school and the parents are afraid of me being around their daughters.
Back in school, I feel like I was living in fear because I cannot be myself. Everyone is like following rules.
I feel like everything was black or white, everything was female or male, everything was like fail or pass, like the whole education system is structured in a way that it kind of categorizes people very easily.
There is a norm that when people don't conform to it, you get singled out a lot more. So when teachers make references to same-sex attraction as bad, the whole class will turn to look at me.
I remember being effeminate, being flamboyant, and of course, like any other queer person that I know, we went through bullying. I always cried to my mom, like, I do not want to go to school. I remember being punished by my own teachers for being different. It was a very traumatizing experience.
I don't think the education system is adequate enough to handle anything that is marginally different from what is the norm.
As a queer person in Singapore's education system, it doesn't feel safe. It feels like something that you need to actively hide. So it isn't something that you can afford to not think about.
But I don't have a choice, you see. So I just comply. And that's one thing that I have to do. Lay low, comply, and you'll be safe.
So it's better when you don't stick out. It makes life easier.
I felt like I was just lying.
Nobody should feel like how I feel when I'm growing up.
There's like the reinforced heteronormativity. People try to fit in and that kind of like hinders a lot of progress within like finding themselves and like coming to terms with their sexuality or their gender.
Actually, the first time I dragged, I was in primary 5 because it was boys' school, right? So my teacher selected me to become this female role, like we call it ma'andam, and she gave me a dress. When I wore that dress and the accessories, the Malay sanggol, the makeup that my teacher put on my face, and I look in the mirror for the first time, I felt like, oh my god, like I love being this beautiful. So whatever experiences that young Izzy went through makes me who I am today. That's how I created this alter ego as Vladimir Joachim.
This diary actually was with me when I was growing up, where I didn't dare to tell anybody that I have girl crushes. And all these songs that I wrote are songs about that person and how I long to be together with her because the world and the society couldn't accept such kind of love. So that was my secret.
Because I want to be so open, I eventually did get in trouble. Like a teacher yelled at me for like being too close to a female student. It's that kind of a very friendly touch that you have between any friend that would have been okay with, if not for the fact that I had really short hair and I was pretty clearly gay. It was a very stressful and uncomfortable situation that I would never want to be in again, even though I don't think I did anything wrong.
I was in ITE and I was being bullied by 5-6 Chinese boys, and I was being assaulted, physically punched. My hair was being pulled and I just didn't defend myself. I looked for a lecturer, and the sad thing is he said, I can't do anything to help you. My first performance in that college, and somebody actually threw a plastic bottle at me. I didn't have any faith anymore with school teachers, with people around me. This whole system is failing me.
As a teacher, you not only need to teach like subjects, you also need to teach like life. Teachers need to know that there are diversity in their students, even at like young age. How to talk to students so that they feel comfortable with you, how to identify students that are different from the rest.
It would be nice to have like inclusive sex education. Having teachers that are like trained in the LGBTQ sense, also trained to accommodate neurodivergent people, mental illness.
Sex education material can afford to include very basic stuff like sexual identities so that people can understand that love is love. There will be a chance you might like someone that is of the same gender, or it could be a spectrum.
And if you have students like me, get to know them and be careful of the choice of words that you use on these students, because those words can hurt them for very, very long.
I think to a certain degree, you can have flexibility, and that's just basic respect for people's preferences and comfortable level.
I've seen various methods like confidential notes to the teacher that state their pronouns and whether they want the teacher to address them publicly in front of class with those pronouns or only in private, and I think that that's very helpful.
Maybe no gendered uniforms?
I remember have so much grief with school uniforms. When I cut my hair short in junior college and I had to wear a skirt, aunties and uncles on like the public transport and buses would openly stare at me, and when I look back at them, they won't look away. You know, it was a challenge. This person looks like they want to punch me. You know, and you never know if someone's actually going to do it. In that ironic way, not wearing a skirt would be safer for me. You are viewed as a problem because I look too masculine to be in a skirt. There's a deep-seated sense of discomfort that comes with being forced to wear something that you really don't think you should be wearing, or it feels like it's you.
I think like for allies, maybe wearing a pronoun pin. If you can't put it on your uniform, you can always put it on your bag, you know, stuff like that. Like small things to normalize it. Cis people to stop questioning trans folks' sex lives or genitals.
I think it's very easy to educate on different kinds of sexual orientation, sexual preferences, identities, and even like respect and consent.
And also to just educate about the past. I think drag queens in Singapore can perform because of the drag queens that came before us. From the Boogie Street eras, from Boom Boom Room eras, they have it much more difficult. And we have all this luxury to do the things that we do now. So I feel that, you know, there needs to be a history lesson on this.
It's a chicken or egg thing, right? We change the education system, change society, etc.
There is a very strict set of syllabus that teachers have to follow, and if you don't follow the protocol, like if some child tell their parents and their parents complain, you lose your job. It is very hard for them to be anything but conforming.
So I guess the problem goes all the way to the top.
So I fight back. But also the justice system fails me because I was arrested fighting back. You know, if I wouldn't have a chance to have a conversation with my 7-year-old self, I would just tell young Azizul, like, you have to be brave. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to fight back when someone disrespects you, because at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself.
I will tell myself that it's okay to feel whatever they are feeling right now, because things will get better. You just have to find your own tribe, and these people will believe in you and who you are, and then you don't have to be afraid anymore.
Because now I know that what matters is to make sure that I'm happy and I'm safe, and people that I care about and around me respect and treat me like everyone else.
Whenever I'm on stage, I feel brave, I feel safe, I feel that I'm allowed to express myself in whatever form that I am.
Be honest to yourself. I think that's the best policy.
Because it will make a difference, and it will not only help you but also change the whole system and also inspire other kids to have that same situation. If you're like in school now, like every event that the school have, be it Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, Racial Day, just perform on that stage, okay? Because that's what I did. Even though people are sick and tired of my face performing for every event, I don't care. I feel that youth nowadays, they are much more vocal, they are much more educated in a way. I feel that there is hope for the youth.
For me, there's like kind of like a little balance between like hope and realistic expectations.
I think that progress is hard to measure. I would like to think that it has progressed, but a lot of times I'm not sure. Maybe we get a bit more visibility because a lot of companies and corporations are hopping onto the pride bandwagon. But as for actual change, I feel like it's really hard to do that when there's still that law of 377A, because it is kind of a symbol.
So even if the legal side of it doesn't improve, the community side of it definitely is going to. And it's already like better actually. Like I see a lot of people that with pronouns in their bio, and like a lot more people using they them as like a default pronoun when referring to somebody.
My friends are more accepting, they are more aware, because like when they ask me about my sexuality, about my experiences, they are more willing to be informed.
I don't think whatever I do will make a difference, but whoever that is out there fighting and hustling, be it like political wise or like day to day, like having your conversations with your peers.
I hope that from there we can see a bigger picture of every queer individual affecting their friends and people they know and their family members. Hopefully it will eventually cause a bigger change. I think it starts small.
And we just need to be very patient and persevering.
I'm so done with all this discrimination and injustice that's happening in Singapore.
I hope that we can continue to be hopeful lah. That one day things might change, and when that happens, I hope that I'm still around. If not, to the next generation, to the future.